Neil, welcome.
Hello.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, it was a complete farce from start to end, really. But the basic story is that Wasps didn't want to play. As you say, the referee, David Rose, was more than happy for the match to go ahead. Sale were happy for the game to go ahead. The 8,000 fans who turned up on Friday night were happy for the game to go ahead. But for whatever reasons, I mean, we might come to that, Wasps decided that they felt the pitch was a danger to their players. That was the quote that was given. And under the current rules of the Guinness Premiership, if one side and their director of rugby doesn't want to play, it doesn't matter what the referee or anybody else thinks, the game is off.
That's quite dangerous, really, in a way, for referees saying that there's nothing wrong with that pitch. Then for a team to say no, then there could be other motives behind that. Obviously, we're not saying that that's definitely the case in this instance, but...
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it leads to far more questions and answers, a situation like that. And Kingsley Jones, the Sale boss, immediately after the game on Friday, he did say, well, basically, it leaves it open for anybody in the future. If for whatever reason they don't want to play a game, they can pull this argument out of the bag, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So I think, regardless of the controversy about the game itself, the actual principle is the thing that's been highlighted as being completely wrong, and hopefully it's one thing that the game's rulers will look at when they're carrying out the investigation.
So if we're going to be a little bit mischievous, why do you think they didn't want to play the game? Because obviously, if the referee said the pitch is OK and Sale said the pitch is OK, then you'd sort of think that it might not be the pitch.
Well, you'd be tempted to.
Yeah.
I mean, the cynics say, well, Wasps came to the game with a few injuries. A few of the big players weren't available. They came to the game on the back of 2 consecutive league defeats, including one at Saracens last week, where, coincidentally, it was very wet and it was raining. So possibly, that might have had a bearing in the thinking. I mean, Wasps obviously wouldn't say that. They claim that, as far as they're concerned, the pitch was a danger. But, I mean, I was speaking to Frank Cotton earlier on today, one of the most respected voices in rugby union of all time, and he said it's just a complete mockery of the sport that you can have a situation where the referee's word is not final, that it's able to be overturned. And that really is a scandal in this day and age. And you're talking about a sport that's worth millions of pounds. It's absolutely incredulous.
I mean, what would have happened if this game was televised? Could that have affected things? If Sky are there and all the cameras are there ready to film it, and a few minutes before the game they turn around and say, hang on a minute, we're not playing, but the referee's saying that you can and Sale want to play, then that again would open another can of worms, I suppose. Well,
if I was a betting man, I mean, I'm not, but if I was and the game was due to be televised, I'm pretty sure we'd be talking about the game here and not a call-off. I mean, it's no coincidence that 24 hours later, Bath versus London Irish was on Sky on Saturday evening, absolutely teeming down with rain in the southwest, no problem. Game went ahead. And I mean, there's another precedent as well. 18 months ago, Sale played Bath again at Edgeley Park, and it was an absolute swamp, the pitch that night. No problem. Both teams played, no injuries, great entertainment, everyone went home happy.
Well, you mentioned that you spoke to Frank Cotton before. There's, of course, an iconic picture of him absolutely caked in mud, but I understand you've got an interview with him for tomorrow's paper and a comment piece from yourself as well, sort of regarding the situation, because it is like you say, it is a bit of a farce for the sport, really, I suppose. It
really is. I mean, Fran made the point as well. He wasn't aware of this ruling until it came up on Friday night, that if one director of rugby or coaches decide that for whatever reason they feel that the pitch or the ground or the circumstances represent a threat to their players, that's it. There's nothing anybody else can do about it, no matter how crazy the situation seems. And Sale were in an absolute no-win situation on Friday night. I mean, there were 8,000 people in the ground. They couldn't make a decision until they got it copper-bottomed from the Premier Rugby themselves. And if they had made a decision earlier on, you would have had chaos with people coming into the ground, people going out. I felt very sorry for them because they were absolutely devastated at the end. I mean, their manager, Kingsley Jones, he said to me, it's a complete week's work wasted. The players were upset, the fans were upset, and it just left a really nasty taste in the mouth, to be honest with you.
OK, well, thanks very much for coming in today, Neil, to talk about it. I look forward to reports in tomorrow's paper and the fallout, of course, because there will be.
Oh, it'll rumble on. Yeah.
Great, thanks very much.
Thanks.